Hello and welcome to our English news coming to you from Canal Algérie. First, the top stories of the news. As per the guidelines of the President of the Republic meant to enhance trade operations, the Mostaganem port is adopting 24-hour working system. The Bou Ashra cave in Mina province, another testimony of the atrocities of the French army using even chemical weapons. The house earthquake victims are still living in precarious conditions as the Mersin regime keeps turning to them a death ear. Welcome back. First in our news, economic activity across the country follows a strategic vision to optimize resources at the port of Mostaganem. A 24/7 system implemented under the President's directives is boosting trade and efficiency and facilitating all kinds of transactions. Story by Manal Mafa.
In Mostaganem, the city's port is constantly bustling. A shift system ensures round-the-clock service, keeping operations running 24/7. We saw the difference. There is enough labor available across the 5 ships docked today. This helps speed up cargo handling and unloading, allowing other waiting ships to enter the port. The goal is to reduce delays and minimize the hard currency costs incurred when ships remain idle offshore. The Transport Directorate coordinates between key port stakeholders, ensuring smooth ship unloading, loading and processing operations. It's past midnight and everyone is mobilized, each in their role. The port is bustling with activity to enhance performance and ensure smooth trade operations for economic stakeholders. Customs teams and port workers in Mostaganem ensure operations run 24/7, prioritizing the clearance of perishable goods and widely consumed products. Maintaining uninterrupted operations will not only boost trade, but also play a crucial role in revitalizing the country's economy, paving the way for sustainable growth.
To history now, the legacy of French colonization remains visible in Algeria, with mass graves and human remains still being uncovered. This week, the remains of a martyr were exhumed from the Bou Ashra cave in Mila, the site of the December 27, 1999 or 59 massacres. Ayadhu and Manal Mafa with more details.
These artifacts and coins were discovered in the Bou Ashra cave in Mila. They belong to a martyr of the glorious November Revolution, a hero of the War of Independence who chose to sacrifice his life for the nation. He fell in this very cave, one of hundreds where the French army used smoke tactics, killing thousands across the country. We searched the cave, which is about 200 meters deep and 25 centimeters wide. The operation took 48 hours to recover the remains of this martyr of the Algerian Revolution. Despite colonial France's attempts to conceal its crimes, particularly its use of chemical weapons and toxic gases against innocent Algerians, the truth is coming to light.
قمنا باستخراج رفات الشهيد من المغارة في منطقة.
We retrieved the martyrs' remains from the cave. They were in a very difficult to access location. The war waged by the French army against innocent civilians in the caves is just one aspect of the colonial crimes that can never be forgotten.
The A3+ group of the United Security Council called on the conflicting parties in Sudan to seize the opportunity of fasting to observe a ceasefire and give way to dialogue. In a communique read out by Algeria's permanent representative to the UN, Ammar Ben Jama, the group indicated that the political process is the sole way to settle the crisis while condemning all forms of foreign interference in Sudan's conflict. More than a year after the Al House earthquake, victims in Morocco still await promised aid. Living in precarious conditions, they continue to protest their neglect and marginalization. Manal Mafa with more details.
Anger is rising in Morocco as economic hardship worsens. Protests demanding change, justice and dignity are growing, especially during the sacred month of Ramadan, a time for solidarity and compassion. Citizens are abandoned. Those buildings house teachers and officials. So why is this ordinary man treated differently? It is unjust to treat people like animals. The Makhzen remains deaf to the Moroccan people's cries for help as the worsening social crisis continues to restrict their freedom and right to a decent life.
You are still watching Canal Algérie. Coming up in our news. The Paris Grand Mosque devoted Friday's sermon to strengthening the community bonds with the national community in France, calling on them to step up solidarity and charity actions. Welcome back to our news. As we are nearing the half of Ramadan, the Paris Grand Mosque seized this opportunity to highlight the importance of community bonds between our national selfhood in France while urging them to step up solidarity and charity actions during this blessed month of fasting. More insights in this concise report. The Friday sermon holds great importance for the faithful, especially during this blessed month of Ramadan, a time of reflection and spirituality. During his sermon, the Imam or preacher reaffirmed the total solidarity of the Grand Mosque of Paris with the Palestinian people, particularly during this blessed month. Faithful to its universal values, the Grand Mosque of Paris reaffirms its total solidarity with the Palestinian people. It constantly calls for peace and end of violence and the preservation of innocent lives.
La mosquée demeure vigilante et préoccupée, sachant combien la situation est fragile malgré le cessez-le-feu actuel.
The mosque remains vigilant and concerned, knowing how fragile the situation is despite the current ceasefire. It emphasized the importance of dialogue and wisdom to face up the blind escalation. The Friday sermon highlights the importance of community bonds and the sharing of spiritual values, strengthening the sense of unity and the brotherhood within the Algerian community settled in France. Still with the blessed month of fasting, as every year, solidarity thrives within our community in France through charity shops and free meal distributions. Algerian and Muslims come together to support families during these difficult times. Report by Afaf Belhouchet and taken up by Manal Mafa.
In Barbès, La Table Ouverte Association has opened a charity shop supported by the Grand Mosque of Paris and housed in a space provided by Algeria, a place where solidarity thrives, especially during this month of Ramadan.
Malheureusement, je dirais...
Sadly, those solidarity grocery stores are overwhelmed as many families can't afford regular shopping and rely on social services or come out of necessity. A rise that reflects growing hardship, but also the vital role of this initiative.
Et je tiens à profiter.
I would like to take this opportunity to warmly thank President Abdelmajid Tebboune, whose initiative made this solidarity grocery store possible. Just a few steps away, another distribution point is dedicated to distributing iftar meals. Volunteers remain committed, working daily to provide hot meals for those who want. We serve 1,200 soups daily. I suppose people from all ages come here, elderly, students, etc. There is a little bit of everything. As for the time of distribution, we get our meals in 1 hour or 1 hour and a half.
Les distribue, allez, 1 heure et demie.
Simple yet vital acts as France's economic crisis hits the most vulnerable the hardest. I don't have a lot of income, just my retirement pension. This helps a little. In Barbès, solidarity is alive and thriving. Here, people find warmth, a hot meal, and the kindness of volunteers. A simple yet crucial effort, especially during the sacred month of Ramadan.
Ramadan is the month of piety and spirituality, but it is also an opportunity for families to relax and let steam off with a series of concerts and festivals held across the country, notably in Algiers, to the great delight of the capital residents. With this, we come to the end of our news. Keep tuning to our channel, and bye-bye for now.